Welcome back to Nicholas Comic Corner Classics, Last Known Classics. This is episode number 1820 and Doubleshot number 1714. I got two Batman related trades. First up is Catwoman by Jim Balent, Book 1, excuse me. Yeah, I had previously discussed Book 2 about a year or two ago. Let me take a look and see about that just to be sure. I discussed that. Oh, this was a while ago. This was like about 3 years ago. I discussed this book. Yeah, and now I'm discussing book 1. This book contains the first 13 issues of the the second volume for the Catwoman ongoing series. Well, technically, was the first one ongoing, but second volume overall for Catwoman. Yes. Now Jim Balent does the artwork for this thing. Now the writing is done by Mary Jo Duffy, and she actually leaves after the first 12 issues. Yep. And then start with issue 13, basically is taken over by Chuck Dixon. Now, why is it called Catwoman by Jim Balent? Because Jim Balent is the artist. That is mainly the reason for this. He is the one who designed her costume that she has of this entire run. Which, by the way, if you read the start of the next volume, she actually was attempting to put this up, but she tossed it aside because, yeah, time for a new one. It just basically, that's my guess, that's probably the writing, and this is just my honest opinion. The writing for that was probably because Edward Rigger was not a fan of this costume at all. So, and you know the weird thing about this is that there is not book 3 out there. Nope, not book 3. And can you believe this book only came out 5 years ago? Yep. Now the first 4 issues is a story that takes place during the initial start of Nightfall, where Catwoman basically just does a little thievery thing. And by the way, here's the very first issue of the ongoing series. Now, why in the world Mary Duffy laugh at the first 12 issues and have Chuck Dixon? I don't know. It's kind of weird though, and this is the only known Bat book that I can think of she's ever worked on, because that's just the honest thing. Now, Mary Duffy herself, as far as I can tell, there is just, like I said, never an explanation of why in the world that she only did just this Catwoman book, and she did like no other Batman book since then. Yeah, this book pretty much contains her entire run, 12 issues. Yeah, her DC work is not much, and I do mean not much. Yes, because her contribution to DC is simply, well, the first 14 issues of this book, one issue of Detective Comics, an issue of Batman, and a 9/11 World's Finest Comic Book Writers and Artists Tell Stories to Remember, Volume 2, and that's it. Yeah, seriously. That is pretty much it, because Mary Duffy, aside from working on this book, one of our biggest noteworthy books she worked on was Power Man and Iron Fist. Now, she's also been credited as Joe Duffy, and she's currently 68. But yes, if you're curious though, has she done any other work? Well, she's mostly been retired for. She basically no longer does comics anymore. Nope. She works the immigration office. That's what Mary Duffy does nowadays. Now, you probably think, okay, what was her last known comic book she ever came out with? Defenders with Kurt Busiek, the second volume for the series. That was back in 2002. So she also did Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. She did issue 111. It came out in 2002. Yeah, 2002 was simply like her last book. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's something interesting though. If you're curious to who did the English translation of his media for Naruto, Mary Duffy did that. Yep, she did from old 306. Yeah, she wrote these adaptations for this one. Now, Lifeline is simply put, basically, like I just said, it's basically what Catwoman was up to during the initial opening story arc of Nightfall. And of course, we have a guest appearance by a couple of. How should I put this? A couple of Bane's henchmen. One is Bird, and the other is. I know the other one's Bird because basically that's what I think of when I think of, well, Bane henchmen. Yeah. Just Bird, Truggy, and Zombie. Yeah, they considered this first story arc a basically, let's just say, a unofficial tie-in to Nightfall. Mm-hmm. Yep. Basically, just the Catwoman just following around Bane's henchmen for a while, the story arc, while going some globetrotting. And of course, you have a guest appearance by the Batman, because of course he's got to make an appearance in the very first issue, because basically that's our love interest, Batman. Now, the issues I'm not going to discuss here are issues 6, 7, and 12 and 13. Mainly the reason why I'm not going to discuss those issues because they're Nightfall issues. I've already discussed them already. But yeah, the first arc of this series is really good. Mary W. does an absolute fantastic job with this one. 5 is just a standalone issue that has nothing to do with Nightfall. No, seriously, it has nothing to do with Nightfall. It's just a standalone issue, if I can get to it here. Yeah. Here's issue 5. And this is the first standalone issue of the series. Of the ongoing thing, that is. Yes. It's mostly just a guest appearance by the Azrael Batman. Yeah, has him make a quick guest appearance. It mostly just follows a series. It basically follows Catwoman's sister. She doesn't show up like halfway of the book. Yeah, but it's an okay issue. But 6, 7, discuss issues already for Nightfall. Yeah, already discussed issues, so I'm going to move on for these issues. The only issues I'm going to discuss in this book are basically issues 8 through 11. 8 and 9 basically just has Catwoman taking this woman named Zephyr, who just appeared just for these 2 issues alone. Yep, that's her on the cover. That's the character named Zephyr. And in case you're curious, though, it's a completely unrelated character from Balent comics. Yeah, completely unrelated character. Yeah, when Catwoman meets her, it's like, hi, I'm Zephyr. Like, this is me. Like, she doesn't waste her time with her. And basically, after these 2 issues, she never appears ever again in comics. Nope, never does. It's like she is thrown into this quick 2-parter. Yeah, 8 and 9 is simply just a 2-parter, just happened to have Zephyr in it. That's because, well, we need to buy time before Nightfall comes back into the book. Yeah, and by the way, Zephyr doesn't show up at the end of issue 1, the first issue. And then they fight, and the next issue, like, and it's like, who are you? I'm Zephyr. Should I be impressed? Yeah, she basically is like, really? Your name is Zephyr? Wow. Yeah, she shows no interest in Zephyr at all, and then, like I said, after this issue, never seen again. Yeah, and as for 10 and 11, you just basically have Catwoman just doing Catwoman stuff. Doesn't steal anything per se. It just interacting with the very social stuff, like break into someone's house. And in issue 11, she apparently fights a guy in a robot suit. Yep. Takes on this guy here in this issue. Yep. And, well, that's it. Because 12 and 13 are simply more tie-ins to Nightfall, which I'm not going to discuss here. But as for these issues as a whole, they're good. Really good. Nothing bad about them per se. Nope. And it's a good start for the Catwoman ongoing series. And in book 2, they go from issues 14 to 24, and they cover a couple other books, and that's it. As far as I can tell, in case you're curious, is there any other Catwoman trades out there that collect, well, this there for Catwoman? Like, for the Volume 2 stuff. Well, in the other collect editions, per se, they do collect some other issues. For the Contagion tie-in, and is collected issue for 3135, that's collected in Batman Contagion. 3536, also part of Legacy. Cataclysm collects issue 56. No Man's Land does 72 to 77, which is the end of Jim Balent's run. We have the New Gotham Officer Down stuff, which that collects issue 90. And then 4 issues later, the book ends. No, seriously, the book ends. And here's the thing. There is a Prelude Nightfall for... as basically collecting the stuff that came up between Cataclysm and it was collected the stuff that came between Cataclysm and like No Man's Land. And basically, now here's the thing: it does not collect any issues. I'm looking up right now. Does it collect any issues of Catwoman during the Prelude No Man's Land stuff? Nope, no Catwoman issues. You thinking really? Yeah, really. There's none. No Catwoman issues. Cataclysm, yes, but not Rolling No Man's Land. Nope. Yeah, it's almost like No Man's Land was end of an era for like a lot of people, like end of Jim Balent's time on Catwoman, and also the end of Neil Neal's time on Batman. Well, being the editor anyways. And speaking of Batman, we have the Fear State Saga, the very next book to talk about here. This book collects the initial main storyline for Batman, along with all the one-shots. The Alpha, the Omega one-shots. They also one-shot for Miracle Molly, the Gardener. Yeah, it's like basically like the main story plus all the one-shots. It's basically, these are stuff right here. Of course, the Batman issues, Miracle Molly. Basically these are Secret Files. Peacekeeper 01, the Gardener, and Alpha Omega. Yep. Yeah. Now, Jameson IV does pretty much the main writing here with Ed Bronson as the co-writing. Jorge Jimenez does basically the artwork. Yeah, Beagle, Ryan Benjamin, Christian Deuce, Rico Vigori, Danny, Trevor Henson, Joshua Hickson, Gilliam March, and Christian Ward. The cover is by Ben Oliver. Yes, the Alpha issue is simple at the very start of Fear State, and something, in my opinion, should be collected in the Fear State trade for Batman, because read the book, like, they're talking about the first Alpha, and it's not there. Heck, the Omega one-shot's not there either, and it collects the entire main story. It's simply basically Simon Sinek is playing the work with Jonathan Crane, and Jonathan Crane doing a reign of terror on Gotham, and this issue basically supposedly has the death of Batman. And, well, that's basically it. It just basically laid the groundwork for this crossover, which is really good, by the way. I love it. I think it was a really damn good story. Yes. As for the other stuff in here, in the case of Peacekeeper 1, it basically explores what he was up to in between issues. Miracle Molly, same thing with her. In the case of the Gardener, actually explores her backstory with Poison Ivy. Yep. And of course, the Mega One Shot is basically the aftermath of this thing. It doesn't really. The only thing it does set up per se is simply Ghost Killer, Ghost I think it's Ghost Chaser. It's Ghost Killer, the guy who basically is allied with Batman. Where he takes Clown Killer as an apprentice and trains him. Yep, that's pretty much basically what he's used for. Oh, Ghostmaker, excuse me, yes. It takes Clown Killer as an apprentice, and, well, Yeah, that's mainly what the alpha. That's what the Mega One Shot is basically just dealing with Clown Killer. Not much for Batman, surprisingly. Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise though. The fact that he gets virtually almost nothing. Like, yeah, aside from him taking him as a basically mantle, we also have Chase Meridian. Also, this one shot does set up the Arkham Tower story arc in the half pages of Detective Comics that happened just. I think it just wrapped up recently. It also brought in Doctor Chase Meridian. You're thinking Jack Chase Meridian? That seems familiar. Did she pop up in Batman Forever? Yes, she did, and she's in comics now. Yep. You could say this was the first appearance, but nope, that's not her first appearance. Her first appearance was the Legend of Dark Knight 100-page Super Spectacular number 4. That was her very first appearance as supporting character in the Hard Limit story. Yep. But yeah, that's mainly. But the big thing about this one, it sets up the Arkham Tower story arc in Detective. Does anything for Batman per se? No, not necessarily. Though this technically, you can think of this one shot as also the finale for James Tibbetts' run Batman, because after this he left DC Comics. Right, this crossover wrapped up. Uh, I haven't fully reviewed the crossover yet. I've reviewed all the other tie-ins yet, but with this book, I reviewed a good chunk of the tie-ins. Now, in case you're curious, though, is there anything really left for Tinius? Because I reviewed all these one-shots for him. Well, let's see. Is Batman's all done? Batman and Robin Eternal, the annuals? Like, you might think, okay, what else is there left to talk about for him? Because I've talked about pretty much almost everything related to Tinius when it comes to DC. Well, the only thing I can think of is Constantine the Hellblazer, the Immortal Men. I still need to finish talking about the Joker. The. Let's see. So I'd say it's probably just Joker, a few one shots here and there. Yeah, there's also a Nice House in the Lake. That's just a miniseries of Black Label, Mysteries of Love in Space. Mostly put like a lot of one shots, but mostly the big thing for him is just DC versus vampires. DC versus vampires, Conte the Hellblazer, the Immortal Men, the rest of Joker, some one shots, this issue of Commodity Challenge. That'd be interesting to talk about when I get you to talk about it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Because I covered, like, I'd say with this, I have covered a majority of the stuff he worked on in DC. Yeah, a majority of it. I give this trade a 9.5 out of 10. By the way, I give it Catwoman by Jim Balent Book 1 also 9.5 out of 10 because both these books are really good. I love Fierce Day storyline. It's a good, let's say, crossover. If you think about it, it is the only major crossover that happened last year for DC. Yeah, this is the only one. You thinking, really? There wasn't any more? Not that I can think of, no. But yeah, this does finish up a good majority of Tinian's time at DC because there's honestly not much left. It's most like I just said, some one shots, basically like 2 ongoing series, Joker and Johnson Constantine Hellblazer, 1 miniseries, issues of a miniseries, basically stuff here and there, but basically just 2 big stuff. Basically the 2 big stuff are just basically just John Constantine Hellblazer, DC versus Vampires, and Joker. These 3 are the only things that's really big left to go for him because most everything else is like small stuff, like a one shot here, one shot there, an issue of a series. But yeah, those 3 big things are the only things that they go for Tinian now. Yep. So yes, that's gonna be pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned for next review, which is going to be another comic corner discussing. Well, I think I might take a break because talking for 20 minutes. Now, next we'll discuss a Superman trade. Yes, a Superman trade. And a Flash trade. Which one they are, you'll find next video, okay? Next video. Bye.